I'm Chief 4 Vic Pinion, U.S. Navy retired, telling some stories of my naval career. Well, this one really is a continuation of the Naples port visit for when I was aboard the John F. Kennedy CV-67. The maintenance chief, Chief 1 Officer, or not like Chief 1 Officer at the time, but Chief Doug Chaney and his wife had cooked up an outfit for him to wear as Super K. Like superhero outfit in leotards and gold flight deck boots with wings on them and a helmet and goggles and cape with big K on it and a big K on his chest. So he was cooked up that character, and him and his wife made that uniform or outfit, costume, to represent the ship as ship's company, because the air group had one of the pilots that would dress up in a Red Baron outfit. And so Chief Chaney, we went to sea on that cruise, and like the first morning that we were at sea, the ship is heading right into the rising sun. And Chief Chaney snuck up all the way up forward on the bow with his Super K suit at sunrise. And he went up on the flight deck and he's running back and forth across the deck. And the captain's on the bridge. He picks up his 1MC mic, goes, "Who is that strange character on my bow?" Well, Chief Chaney, he disappeared quick. Well, he had told nobody about this. But then over time, we found out who it was and so forth. And he was a very popular character aboard the ship. So it was a bunch of things that in the ship's newspaper and stuff. They were always talking about Super K and the Red Baron and getting them in a boxing match or a wrestling match or something to see who would win. And it was a lot of fun. Well, we pulled into Naples, and Chief Chaney set up a trip to the Naval Hospital there at Naples as the Red Baron. And I went with him. And we went to the hospital, and he visited all the different patients there, went room to room, extremely popular. So we would call him Super K the Healer. It was great fun. We had a lot of fun with that. Well, toward the end of the deployment, we were going to come back to the States, and Chief Chaney is not uncommon for someone from V2 Division, a senior person, a maintenance officer, or a maintenance chief, to go back early, fly back to the States early, and take a work package for when the ship returned to its home port in Norfolk, Virginia. Well, Chief Chaney requested early that he be that person. So, yeah, okay, he left, he took a work package that we'd worked up for the Norfolk to do for us during our initial import period there. We had another serious problem that we've already recorded or filmed, the defective capacity selector valve, if you'll remember that story. A lot of things were done wrong concerning that CSV. Well, we got them corrected as best we could, and we made it back to the States. When we pulled in, here is Super K on top of a Dempsey dumpster doing his thing, and about 100 children all gathered around looking up at Super K. And it was so much fun. And then when the ship actually moored, they put the brows up, I left the ship, and of course I'd seen my wife down there on the pier. She would get next to some major thing like a bus or a fence or compound or building or something, and she would be a little away from the big crowd down there. So it was pretty easy for me to find her. Well, her and our daughter, Teresa, and her boyfriend, Mark Bixby, Seaman Mark Bixby, which I think I've also recorded the rat-faced seaman story later in a different story. But they were standing in front of a bus. And the bus driver sitting in behind the wheel in this bus, he's just sitting there kind of bored with the old front windshield, the bus, great big windshield. And my family's standing right across in front of that bus. And when I saw them, I took my hat off and I bowed, and they saw me and they go, ah, like they're protecting their eyes from the sun because I'm balding and the sun reflecting off my bald head. Well, the bus driver sees them cracking up. He sees what they're cracking, and he cracks up, you know. So I told him about that later. Well, when I left the ship, I got off the ship shortly after we put the brow up, and I'm walking down the pier, and here comes Super K in his Super K outfit. Hey, bosun, don't worry, go home, have a good time, take the week off. We got everything covered, everything's all situated. No sweat. Okay, thanks you, Doug. You know. So got with my family and met Mark for the first time in person, and I liked him immediately. Fine young man. And so we went home, and the first weekend, this is on a Friday, and on that weekend we had a backyard party for local family members. And my son Tom had returned to the States, so not returned to the States, he got out of boot camp, reported aboard the ship, which is home ported just a couple miles from our house. And I saw our house for the first time. My wife had got it. No, I didn't see it for the first time. For the first time with our household goods in it, because she had accepted them and moved in. But we're in the backyard pitching horseshoes and grilling ribs and chicken and stuff, and just having a great old time, making homemade hand-cranked ice cream and stuff. It's in the springtime. Birds are singing, perfect temperature. I had lost about 30 pounds during the deployment because of excess worry, because I'd had a lot of problems. Worrying about killing somebody, really, about somebody being killed in an accident as a result of machinery not working right. In any case, I'm there laughing with my family, having a great time, barbecuing in the backyard, birds are singing, a light breeze blowing, perfect temperature. I says, this is what it's all about. Thank you, Lord. This gives me a good understanding. It really is worthwhile. End of this story. Y'all carry on.